So we are going to hear from Apolo de Carvalho, who has completed a PhD in post-colonial studies at the University of Coimbra in Portugal. He is also an activist and an artist. He plays a crucial role in the discussion of the memorialization of colonial history and the present in Portugal. And among his many struggles, his demand for the 25th of April to be recognized as part of the African Revolution stands out.
Thank you very much for the presentation, and also, are you listening good? It's okay?
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank
You for your presentation and also for this invitation, which was not easy for me to accept because of the language also, and also because I was I thought that it was about economy, and I'm not economist. And about yesterday, it was really difficult. And I think it's also important to us to think um, about the future of our society, huh? Because the global world is changing, and we need to think how the people of the South will deal with this. Well, how as you heard, my English not good, so I will try to read my paper in English, so you can understand me. It's good until now.
It's perfect. Your English is perfect. Thank you, Apolo.
Thank you. You are kind. So my name is Apolo. I'm from Cape Verde, and it's important to say from Cape Verde. It's important to say that because it's part of my identity, and also is a part of my work in post-colonialism and global citizenship, which I'm doing now in SES, Centro de Estudos Sociais in Coimbra. My main interest is in Pan-Africanism, but not Pan-Africanism, not just as ideology, as it's often presented. Instead, I work in Pan-Africanism as a meta-theoretical tool, a way to read global structures and international issues from an African-centered perspective. For me, Pan-Africanism is also important because it's kind of a proposal of a de-link, a disconnection, as Samir Amin used to call, and also is a proposal for, and now I will use an expression of Du Bois. It's a proposal for an African reconstruction. Du Bois was using about Black reconstruction, but I'm using it now as an African reconstruction. So my English is not perfect, as you can see, and I will show you some notes. Since we are in this discussing about racism and economy, I think it's important also to reflect on the contradiction created by colonialism itself, especially in the way that colonialism imposed certain language as universal languages of trade, of international relations, and also of economy, of academy. No, this space, for example, reflects this imposition of colonialism on language, and it's important to think on these contradictions. I will talk about the how economy of colonialism and colonialism, especially through Cape Verde, Santo Tomé e Príncipe, in Portugal, and how those two spaces, Cape Verde and Santo Tomé e Príncipe, enriched Portugal while living these places and these lives exploited, erased, and without repair. But I will also focus on how those African bodies create some kind of resistance. Um, we must be clear about one thing. Colonialism and slavery are not just historical events, as sometimes we studied when we studied, because in Portugal, for example, even in Cape Verde, we don't study colonialism in schools. But when we studied, they teach us like if those colonialism and slavery are like historical events, something that happened. But they are actually the foundation of a current, actual global economy system. Capitalism, colonialism, patriarchado, all those systems that work together, and also apartheid was created by colonialism. This global racial hierarchy um, structure was supported by colonial powers. I will try to make my presentation on Cape Verde, on Santo Tomé and Príncipe, and in Portugal, and how in this space of the South Atlantic, this African and this Black Atlantic, a richness, a fortune was created for Portugal. Cape Verde in history, in literature, is presented like uh, a country of poets, a country of a people who have music and we have arts and culture, but they never show even the many Cape Verde intellectuals. They tell us a history of a Cape Verde that we don't have, that don't show the history of slavery and the violence. Cape Verde was one of the first European colonial settlements in the tropics, and it became a major hub of transatlantic slave trade. Um, some historians, as like Akibode, call Cape Verde as an open air supermarket for the buying and selling of human beings. And it's important because it was the first place in the history that was created to receive slavery, enslaved people. So ships arrived almost from Europe, and they went to African continent. They took those people, and then they put them in Cape Verde. The city of Cidade Velha was designed um, to receive these people. And in Cidade Velha, we can even today, we can see a pilorinho, which is a pillar used for a public punishment. Enslaved people were put in this place in front of everyone to be punished if they want to run or something like that. But Africans resisted first in Cape Verde. And the music was very important. I will show you soon a small video from a batuco from Cape Verde, which is a kind of music made by women in Cape Verdean women, and they use this music and the drum to communicate themselves about the resistance against Portuguese. And another kind of resistance was, in my opinion, the Cape Verdean language. Many people use the word Creole, but I don't like to use Creole because for me, even French, even Portuguese, even Spanish, they are Creole from Latin language, but no one use this word to speak about Portuguese as Creole. So I don't use this expression to say on about the Cape Verdean language. I use Cape Verdean, uh, even because we have many Creoles and we never know when we say Creole, we don't know if you are speaking about Jamaica, about Haiti, about Trinidad and Tobago, about Curacao. So I use Cape Verdean. So Cape Verdean is a language a mix of many African languages and even the Portuguese, and it became like a powerful form of cultural survival and communication. And the woman who was teaching children this language was very important because they use this language in their music. Even today, in Portugal, for example, we have these women's, and they use only the Portuguese, the Cape Verdean language in their music. I was talking about slavery, but in Cape Verde, we have also another big crime that Portuguese created, a anger as a colonial policy. Um, Anger or this starvation was not because of the nature of Cape Verde. Many times we used to people tell us that Cape Verde we don't have the rain, the environment is very dry, so that's why because we don't have um, we don't have richness, and that was the cause of the starvation, the famine. But actually, this is a policy that Portugal, um, the colonial system created, because in Cape Verde we had many episodes of famine. The island was new as a archipelago of the famine, but the only people who died in this territory was Africans, was Cape Verdeans. The colonial administrators like Portuguese, they never died. And in Cape Verde, we had many episodes of famine. The most new is from 47, when thousands of people die, and Portugal refused to assist Cape Verdeans, and also refused to acknowledge that people was dying. And we have many history about that. But famine is kind of a trauma from Cape Verdean. People don't want to speak about that today. And even the government don't use famine or starvation in their documents of political. They use now security, I don't know how to say it in English, segurança alimentar, security of alimentation, of food, food security, I think. And the famine, the starvation was one of the cause that sent people to Saint Tomé and Príncipe. Saint Tomé and Príncipe is another island connected to the African continent. And in Saint Tomé and Príncipe, the forced labor was used even uh, until the end of colonialism, we are speaking about 70s. People was sent, Cape Verdeans, but also Angolans and Mozambicans. Uh, they were sent it to Saint Tomé and Príncipe to work in the plantation, cacao, coffee, and many of those things. And Cape Verdeans were forced to migrate to Saint Tomé and Príncipe in the mind of the colonial power because there was famine in Cape Verde. And in Saint Tomé and Príncipe, people was living like in Cape Verde, also in the system of exploitation in the system of violence. And even today, people who are there, they face many privations, many issues, which is an heritage from these times.
You have
But
5 minutes left already. I'm sorry.
5 minutes?
5 minutes, yes.
God, I'm sorry. I will try to, yeah. I have to talk about revolt and resistance in Cape Verde. There are several resistance in Cape Verde. Engenho, Chachada Falcão, Ribeirão Manuel, and Cape Verde was not like just a country of slavery. It was also a country of revolt and resistance. Many of those resistance was created by Cape Verdean women, and this is very important to say today because many of the most part of population Cape Verde are women. Um, and those women who was in Santo Tomé and Príncipe and in Cape Verde, they are now in Portugal, and they are now in the same kind of exploitation. They are women who was working on cleaning sector without security, uh, without security and without protections. And we can say that this is a kind of the reconfiguration of some kind of colonialism in Portugal. And today in Portugal, we have a kind of small movement talking about reparation from slavery, from colonialism, and also from racism. But Portugal don't want to speak about this. We don't have any official apology from that. The situation of the case of Santo Tomé e Príncipe, the forced labor and even the starvation in Cape Verde is not part of discussion in academia. Even the left academia who are talking about slavery and colonialism, the subject of starvation in Cape Verde, the subject of the forced labor in Saint Tomé and Príncipe is not a theme, is not a subject. And this is very important to say and to bring to these spaces, because we have people who are in life. They are today in Santo Tomé and Príncipe and today in Portugal. They are alive and they need to be repaired, and not to repair just in kind of apology or repairing documents, etc. In Santo Tomé and Príncipe, the generation of forced labor who was there need to have their material condition of life repaired. This is very important. Um, I will finish with a small video about Santo Tomé and Príncipe. I'm working here in Portugal with a group of women who do batuco, this kind of resistance, cultural resistance. and they are the words of the music are always political and always historical in Cape Verdean. And this woman, that woman, the video is not from now, but the woman there is doing a work on this history now. And this is very important because you are speaking about reparations, but it's important to say that people, they made always a self-repair since the slavery, since the first time of slavery until now. People are repairing their self. What we are speaking about, the thing we use now the word self-care, but slavery people, they, since the first time of slavery, they are doing their self-care, and the music is part of that. I will show you the music, and maybe I have to share my
You can
screen.
share your screen. Yes, you can.
Okay. And I'm very sorry for my language, but this is also our colonial heritage. And if you have any questions after, I can. So where can I? Just a moment. My, I cannot see. Can you please? Okay. I found. So this one. Can you see?
Yes, we see it. We see the video.
The important is also the music. I know that you will not understand the word, but I can explain after.
Lembra, presidente? Para 300. Avança. No? No avança? Vou para Congo esperar barco. Quando chega ali, vai ver também.
Sente no vinho é bastante me contratado a criança menino quando viaja na altura na fala quando para quando são as mulheres ai a mãe pensa branco ai a pago pito de paz menino tudo por salva vida salmarino na meio mar salmarino na meio mar ana fala
This is the woman, Hilda Vash.
salmarino na meio mar. Ana fala piripá, piripá.
And maybe I have time just to share another video, just a few.
Okay, 1 minute.
1 minute. Okay, sorry. Okay, just a moment. Sorry. It's because they did another. It's important not to talk about how they bandeirinha. Okay. Okay. I will share now, and I promise you that is the Can you see?
Yes.
I cannot, sorry. I cannot see. Okay. Yeah, it's finished now. So I don't know how I can stop.
It's okay. It's stopped.
Okay. So I just wanted to show you this last video because they are doing not just telling our history about the suffering, etc., but they are making that African reconstruction. So it's always this dialectical thing, dealing about a suffering and the reconstruction of an African humanity. They are humanizing themselves. They are humanizing also Portugal, where they are. So if you have questions, and I'm sorry for if some words was not.
Thank you very much, Apolo. It was very, very interesting. The question will be after the